We all think we have a handle on what play is, right? We see kids on a playground or building with some blocks, and we think, oh, they're just having fun. But what if that fun is actually the most complex, most important work a child can possibly do? Today, we're going to dive deep into the world of child's play and uncover its hidden superpowers. All right, so let's just jump right in with the big question. When you see a kid totally lost in their own little world of make-believe, is that just them killing time? Is it just a break from the real learning that's supposed to happen at a desk? Or is there something, way more profound happening right under our noses? For a long, long time, our culture has kind of put learning and play in two totally separate boxes. Learning was the serious, structured stuff led by adults. And play? Well, that was seen as frivolous, maybe a little chaotic, and just for kids. In this explainer, we're going to totally tear that idea apart. We're going to show you a new perspective where play isn't the opposite of learning, it is the learning. But to do that, we've got to bust some myths first. So let's start by debunking this whole idea that play is somehow aimless or unproductive. And who better to guide us than the man himself, Fred Rogers. Honestly, this simple but super profound statement, that's our launch pad. For a child, that hard line we adults like to draw between work and play, it just doesn't exist. Their play is their work. It's how they figure out the entire world. Okay, so if play is this serious business, what actually makes something true play? I mean, not all fun is created equal, right? So let's investigate the specific ingredients that make an activity genuine, powerful, honest-to-goodness play. So think of these like the 6 secret ingredients for the real deal. First off, yeah, it's got to be fun, pleasurable. But the real magic kicks in when it's intrinsically motivated. A kid isn't doing it for a sticker or a reward. They're driven by pure curiosity. They get lost in the process, the journey, not just trying to get to the end. And this is huge. It has to be freely chosen, and they have to be actively engaged. This is not passive screen time we're talking about. And then there's my absolute favorite part. It's non-literal. This is that spark of imagination that turns a boring cardboard box into a rocket ship to Mars. So when you get all 6 of those things cooking at once, wow, something incredible happens. Play unlocks a child's hidden superpowers. It literally becomes the engine for their development in pretty much every way you can imagine. All right, superpower number 1, cognitive growth. And we're not just talking about memorizing facts here. We're talking about how play literally builds the architecture of a child's brain. I mean, just think about it. A kid trying to build a block bridge that doesn't fall down, that's engineering. That's problem solving in real time. When they make up some elaborate backstory for their action figures, they're laying the groundwork for complex storytelling and abstract thought. This isn't just a workout for their brain. It's the training ground for the critical thinking skills they'll need for their entire lives. But hey, building a brain is just half the battle. Play's second superpower is all about building connections, social emotional skills. This is where kids learn how to deal not just with things, but with other people. You can forget about the boardroom. A kid's first real high-stakes negotiation, it happens on the playground over who gets to be the superhero. It's where they learn to cooperate, to share, to handle conflict. This is ground zero for teamwork. And by pretending to be a firefighter saving a cat or a teacher with a classroom of teddy bears, they are literally practicing empathy, figuring out their own emotions, and building the confidence to speak up for themselves. And then, of course, you've got superpower number 3, the one we can all see, physical development. All that running, jumping, and climbing, that's building their gross motor skills. But just as important is the fine motor stuff. Stacking those tiny blocks, drawing, putting beads on a string. That builds the dexterity they're going to need for writing, tying their shoes, all that good stuff. All right, so we've got it. Child-led play. It's this amazing engine for growth. But, and this is a big but, here comes the twist. There's a secret ingredient that can make this whole process even more powerful. The intentional adult. So this brings up a huge question, right? If play has to be freely chosen, does that mean our best move as adults is to just be completely hands-off? Should we just get out of the way? Well, as it turns out, the answer is a little more interesting than just a simple yes or no. So let's break down the 2 extremes you usually see. On one side, you have the completely teacher-directed stuff. The adult has a goal, gives the instructions, and the kid follows. You know the drill, right? Every single kid's paper plate turkey ends up looking exactly the same.
Then on the other extreme, you have totally hands-off free play, where the adult is basically just a distant security guard. Learning can happen there for sure, but it can also fizzle out or miss its full potential.
Okay, so if those are the two poles, where's that perfect middle ground, that sweet spot? It's this incredible concept called intentional teaching, and the definition is everything. It's the purposeful act of balancing a child's own ideas with just the right amount of adult guidance. The goal here isn't to direct the show, it's to be a co-conspirator in their discovery, to help them go deeper into what they're already exploring. It's about being a guide, not a dictator.
So, what does this actually look like in the real world? How do you do it? Well, you can think of it like a 4-step dance. Step 1 is just to observe, really watch and figure out what they're fascinated by. Then you dance in with an open-ended question. Not, is that a red car? But, I wonder what would happen if we built a much steeper ramp for that car. That's your moment to introduce a cool new word, like velocity or friction. And finally, you can offer a new material, maybe some cardboard tubes or different-sized balls, to enrich what they're already doing. See what's happening? You're not taking over. You're just opening the next door and letting their curiosity run wild.
All right, let's pull all these threads together. What we've really been building here is a whole new set of rules for how we think about play, a completely new paradigm for what learning actually looks and feels like. So we're really shifting our entire mindset. We're moving away from that old limited view that play is just a break, the fluffy stuff you do after the real work is finished. The new paradigm, the new reality, play is learning. Full stop. And it gets supercharged when a thoughtful, intentional adult joins in on the fun. Okay, so let's boil this all down. What are the big takeaways from all this? Number 1, play is not frivolous. It is the essential, fundamental work of childhood. 2, it is the primary engine for a child's growth, cognitively, socially, and physically. 3, an adult's role isn't to stand back and do nothing, but to be purposefully supportive. And 4, this idea of intentional teaching, that's the key that unlocks the absolute deepest learning that can happen in play. So I want to leave you with something to chew on. After everything we've talked about, the next time you see a group of kids just playing, what are you going to look for differently? Are you just going to see a bit of chaos and fun? Or are you going to see the little scientists, the engineers, the future storytellers hard at work? And that leads to the final, and maybe most important question of all. How can you be more intentional the next time you're part of playtime? What's one question you could ask, or one new thing you could offer, that might just spark a whole new universe of discovery for a child? That, right there, is the incredible power you have once you truly get the importance of play.